The LatinoX movement, really a assault against the United States government in every way, shape, form, and humanly possible. The LatinoX movement. It's something that has came up in 1978 from listening to parents and cousins, came up again around 92, and has came up again just around, and I'd say it's been going on since about the Secret Service shortage in New Mexico when the judge and the representative were shot. I know it's a bit old and everything, but here's my take on it. And I know that I'm going to be looked at as sexist. I'm a man. I've turned 40. I can grow facial hair. I have to shave every day. And I can't figure out where to get time to go and work out. So, whatever it is, leave it in the comments down below. Please, I relish pain and suffering comments because no one ever comments back whenever I write something back to them. So it's like I guess I was justified and right. I mean, the last person who tried to win an argument with me just left like a exclamation point or a question mark, and it's like, so right, I blew your mind. But anyway, here we go. Oh yeah, like and subscribe. This is the Political Minute, and we are going over LatinoX, or LatinX. LatinX is generally whenever the Mussolinis, after some of the riots, being that they are kind of like the evil profiteers of this. And in Mussolini, you can even not say it's World War II. You can just be like, they are the new crime fucking family. They are the evil family. It's not the Gottis, it's not the Gambinos, it's not any family that you can think of out there. It's not the Gucci's that's going to have their movie on and it's like, oh, we haven't caught them yet. Oh, it's all this. It's Versace and the Milans with all the clothing. It's the Mussolinis. They're fascist. They've got their hands in politics. They're the mob that Kennedy was scared of. And with it all, the Latinos are people who cannot be made into Christianity under its original format. So Latino has to be completely removed, and that there is only Latin. This came up with people actually finding out that because of like where my mom was in college or something else, and Latinos were in or something, just made, and it's like, well, you have to fill out your form for this because you're this. And Latinos are a multicolored group. One of the most predominant things is that Latinos are red or brown from the Americas, and we're people who are not subjugated to colonization because they do not come from the European kingdoms. So there was a separation over it. Even if they would be partially Hispanic, like under the caste system, it said that they could not be communed under that, which was Christianity through forced breeding, aka a form of rape. This was something that Richard Milhous Nixon actually looked at when he was putting it in and had proposed it. And it was taken. Jews are considered Latino. Native Americans are. People south of the border that would be not of Portugal, France, or Spain in their colonizational movements, even England, are still considered Latino. Now, under this, the Latinx movement never has ever used sexist with it, saying that the men, if they married into women in the Mussolini family, which is a thing right on the other side of this river lake that I'm sitting beside. And people can go on that, and I know that they came over here and they found out where this house is. I've always told them we just have a lot property with a shack on it and a dock, and we put stuff out. People have been researching me nonstop saying that I'm Al-Qaeda. And it's because here locally, when I filled out some forms on getting food stamps when I was unemployed and seeing if I could get TennCare, it came up instantly when I came back to this one place, and one of the people who had been nice to me is like, you mean you check Latino because you ain't Latin in my family? And there aren't no Latinos here. no, we sued and proved over everything. They proved all the people that they killed and never admitted to murder, and that they had run off from in the area. And it's like one of these little old grandmothers, and that's like, I knew these other people, and I didn't know that it's like, we've just been waiting time to marry back in because we had to wait 35 years because everything was a family involvement. And they're talking about FISA warrants. And it's like, technically, they're war criminals from World War II, as in the first generation that was born here, like 3 or 4 years after, because we let them come here with their wives because they would talk more, or their husbands, being that they had the governmental position. Work concentration camps, granted not with Germany and everything, but they all called them camps of communion because they're like Gargamel with the Smurfs. And they routinely go on about how they've exterminated the Native Americans north and south of the border, have taken over, and everything else. And this is different sections, and it's like they inbreed with themselves, then they go and have their little family that they get back together with. And it's like, so it's been 100 years. And they just keep continually doing this. Now, you can go on that there are white Latinos and others about that, which is what you visibly see, but it's being more and more towards what Roman supremacy is. And I do have this one thing on here that I really should look up right now at this moment, but I don't want, and he's a cooking show. And he decided to go out there and do, what did Latins, Romans think about race? And it does come back that there is only one brown race that is Roman, if you listen to people around here. And he basically says Romans are all brown people, and they said the white people were lazy and sluggish, and the black people were skittish or fearful, and were very strong. And, you know, he doesn't really say anything. It's like, well, it's the most PC version of like an ancient cultures group. And he really does. It's like tasting Rome or tasting history. And he does a lot of Roman food things. And I will say he seems like a really nice guy. His last name's Miller. And do I think he goes with any of it? He's like, he took a DNA test, I think, or something else, and found out he had Latin ancestry, and he's going through that. And he quit his job at Disney and decided to put that up. If I ever look him back up again online, maybe I'll make something more official if someone asks or something. But I'm just saying, in everything, I don't think that I can fully put him on there with how much this has just set me off. And I'm not really that violent. I'm the guy they push around all the time. With saying this, with everything, there's 2 or 3 other groups that do include various skin pigmentations in the USA. And everybody that's with the, well, what you see is what you get, is really something that does go back, again, to the Mussolini family and the comedies cult. It's just ridiculous you wouldn't say everybody was whatever someone saw visibly as a color. And Latinos are one of those main groups that they push after. And Hispanics, Spaniards, are separated from Latins, just as the Greek are separated from Latins. It's something that goes along with the fascist, only Roman culture. And as such, this situation does have very big consequences. And it's just however they can get the media to go along with it. Maybe there does need to be the change of the situation for it. But yet at the same time, basically it's saying everything will be conquested through Christianity, which is, again, illegal, not allowed in the USA. We are not a Christian theocracy. While it is actually British terrorism to say that the colonies were originally founded on Christianity, because the pilgrims did not come over with British anything. They came over just like every other colonial power did in the United States for religious freedom, which is freedom of religion, irregardless of what Sean Hannity says and irregardless of what Anderson Cooper says, or Wolf Blitzer, or anybody else on any of the other media stations. This is not a Christian theocracy. This is why we are allied with England, is because they do not have a Christian theocracy if they have a queen on there. We are allied with Spain because they do not have a Christian theocracy with their king on the throne. We're no longer allied with France because they made a Christian theocracy under an electable king president who must do an act of human sacrifice since they are realigned with Andorra. Same way with Luxembourg and Holland. This is just how it goes. It could be very different, but it's really not. And with the whole situation over LatinoX and how much it is associated with Native Americans, Jews, and the last bit of holding things, which it even has Oriental Latinos, because they came from a former colony of basically the Mother Church or Catholic Church. This holds a lot to the whole situation of the USA being a multicolored, non-Christian entity that tore down the walls of basically how the Second Reich split the world and said there's these Jews in Asia that we just can't really understand. There's the desert buffer zone and tundra of Russia. And then there's the ones that we have broken and are underneath Christianity that most people understand as Jewish. And then there's like the Nowhereville zone. And we're going to get rid of Africa and everything else through using slavery and other stuff against the world. Now, things are going pretty bad, pretty everything else, but in this, I'm just telling you, if people really have looked at it, since the time of Obama, it's been more subterfuge and everything, and Biden and Trump have just tried keeping people out of what really is the political future. Now, with everything all considered, I hope everybody's doing really well. I'm going to post this one. Sure, I'll probably get some comments on it and about how Hispanic women have been downtrodden and treated badly, and or Latino women, and how there's not really a separation of any of it. But there is. And it's just one of those things. Have a wonderful day. Be safe. And Colin Dawson, Political Minute, over and out.